Welcome to our weekly coffee chat with Trina and
Dave, hi.
I'm Trina Rise. I'm a
I
whole
always make her laugh.
oh
I don't
my
know
god
whether she's laughing with me or at me.
and interrupt me. Anyway, uh, I'm Trina Rise. I'm a holistic nutritionist and I specialize in helping men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s lose weight, take control of their health, and really, supercharge their nutrition. And this is my best friend, David. He's who inspired me to work with men over 40. Today's topic is going to be processed food.
It's
And
one of our incredible, we rant about it almost every time we talk.
yes,
Somehow
and
it creeps into our conversations.
it definitely does. And I think it creeped into our last coffee chat as well at the end. And
Yeah, I think it most
intelligently
likely,
decided to get off.
and this probably won't be the last time you hear about it.
No. So I think I want to just start with this point, and that's that, people eat about 50% of their diet. Um, it is processed food. Okay. So it's ultra processed or processed foods. And it has become this normal way of thinking that giving up processed food and eating just whole, normal food is going on a diet. So that's what I want to talk about because this is what people think. People think when they eat whole food, they're going on a diet.
That's great. When you really think about it, eating good whole food is considered a diet. No, eating junk is a bad diet. Eating processed food is the bad diet.
I know, but this is the
It's
but that in there lies
it's
the
not
problem.
eating, yeah, eating whole foods like vegetables, meats, fish, but the real thing, not out of a box, is what we should be eating. It's what we've always eaten. It's so good for
Okay,
you.
but listen, do you remember? Okay, we were talking about it a couple days ago. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but that eating a slice of pizza
Oh yeah,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
better for you, a better breakfast than having a bowl of cereal.
Cereal is one of the biggest frauds in our society.
I think
It,
so too, yeah.
it is a huge fraud. Oh, have a nice bowl of healthy cereal. It's got
Whole
tons of
grains.
whole grains. Whole grains are they're just so highly processed here, and they're so full of chemicals. And
But the reality is like it's processed and like Cheerios, for example, whole grain Cheerios, the ones that don't have any sugar, just the natural ones, they're healthy, they're fortified, they have all these, minerals in them. There's no sugar in them, but they are highly processed. Like an oat doesn't get turned into a Cheerio without some some serious processing
some
happening.
serious. I have a chemistry degree, so I know a little bit about, and chemicals appall me. The
Yeah.
number of it, you look at labels today, the labels have so many chemicals in them. The
Yeah.
more processed, the more chemicals. They have, I mean, a career exists called food engineering. There's no
Yeah.
need to engineer food.
Yeah.
Food is just given to us. It's
Yeah.
meat, vegetables. It shouldn't be engineered. Why the hell
No.
do you need to sorry, I just
No, it's
it's
okay.
it
Yeah, no,
shouldn't
no.
exist. Sorry, I'm
No, I know it shouldn't
I'm
exist.
going down the rabbit hole of my oh, we're
No,
being
I know.
poisoned.
Well, it's angering and it's angering to me as well because when sometimes when clients start working with me, a lot of people are really ready to make this transition, to whole food and to having optimal health, but then some people I work with are just like, well, I can't eat this clean, forever. I'm like,
It's not, it's so
but
yeah, you can.
you can and
And you
buying
should.
little crackers and cheesy chips and all of these, just these created things, and they're healthy. There are healthier processed foods, yeah, but they're still
The
processed.
minute it's processed, there's a problem. Trina even said that to me, with protein powder. No matter what, protein powder is processed.
Yeah, of course. But
Every
I mean, okay, so that's one
Now
thing.
she'll
Well,
correct
okay,
me.
I know.
Well,
Well, but I
well.
use, well, I use protein powder too. I mean,
Mhm.
the problem really is too, is that we've gotten into this place where people don't understand what they need anymore. Your body doesn't even understand what it needs anymore, because when you're eating processed food, like when you have that bowl of processed cereal, that whole grain, that expensive cereal you bought that's got lots of fiber and all that stuff, and you eat it, your body still doesn't really know what that is. Like, your body knows what real food is. Your body knows what a piece of fruit is. It knows what a piece of meat is. It knows,
Yes.
even pasta. Like, I read this article recently in some of my research where it was talking about blood sugar and chickpeas and chickpea pasta. So,
Okay.
chickpea pasta, it's healthy, right? Well, what do they do with the chickpeas to turn it into a pasta? They get all ground up into a fine powder. It gets thrown through a machine. Other things are added to
Yeah,
it.
it's the
Gets
other
squeezed out.
things.
It gets squeezed out into this pasta. So, and then they did this, then they did in the research, they did this test on people's blood sugar after they ate a whole chickpea on one side and the chickpea pasta on the other. And guess what? The whole
No.
chickpea, your blood sugar went up like this, and the chickpea pasta like this. So, I mean, you tell me what, God created or nature created these perfect foods, you know, beans, legumes, meat, vegetables, all these things. If you eat them in their natural form, your body knows what to do with it. Your body can self-regulate. Your body can do the things it needs to do. Your metabolism can function properly. But as soon as you process it and you change it, what happens? Your body doesn't know what it is anymore. So that bag of Doritos you eat, or that,
Oh yeah,
bag,
it's the chemicals they put in. Nobody is adapted to eat them.
no,
Our body is only adapted to eat whole foods. All the
exactly.
other things are to trick our tongue and our brain,
Yeah.
and
So
and that's
yeah,
it. That's what food engineers do. They fool us to feel hungry and to hyper make tastes hyper, like hyper
yeah, it's
sweet,
hyper
hyper.
palatable, they call it.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
hyper
hyper.
palatable. Oh,
Food's
wow. That's
hyper
why a
palatable.
Dorito tastes so good. It's garbage. It is
Yeah, but
real crap.
but a
Look at
food
the label,
engineer,
guys.
yeah,
Sorry.
but a food engineer sat in a lab and designed that to make you want more of it.
There's a whole raft of chemicals, sweet,
Yeah,
super salty.
yeah,
There's a great book. Can I mention a book or?
yeah. Of course, why
I
not?
think it's, what is it? Salt, fat, and sugar. It's just those, that's the title. And it
Yeah.
talks about how food engineering and how those three things are used to make foods palatable, processed foods, which without those would be unpalatable.
Yeah, it tastes like crap. So,
Yeah,
but the
it
thing
does.
is, even with things like, think foods that you get kids addicted to early, right? Like processed foods, yogurts, all those sorts of things. I mean, they put kids in MRI machines
Oh
to
yeah.
see how much their pleasure sensors light up when they eat it, and they're going for the biggest bang. You're getting kids. Yeah, you give kids this sugary cereal. Like, I walked down the Walmart aisle the other day, and it was like adults, if there was an actual label, adult cereal and then kids cereal, yes, and then and all the sugary Cocoa Pops and Fruit Loops and the sugary junk was in the kids section. So
That
that's
is
that's
that should be a crime.
yeah,
Literally,
well, it's
that
child
well,
abuse.
we've talked about that. That stuff should be just
Yeah,
banned.
but
And
so
that's why you're working with Trina. That's why we have Trina to tell us this stuff so we don't eat that garbage.
well, and I think the thing is too, though, people need to understand. I think people need to learn how to treat it is an addiction. And I think
Oh,
people think, oh, they don't have enough willpower. They can't stop eating this stuff. So like, oh, I just get started and I can't stop. But they have to understand that that food was engineered to do that to you. That you've
well,
also been probably,
food engineers are like the people that work in fentanyl labs. I'm
yeah,
sorry. That's it's
yeah,
that bad. They
yeah.
want us addicted, and then the
Yeah.
the the food manufacturers are the cartels. It
But
is
think
a
about it. It's
cartel.
it's like the kids
and
section
it's
of
billions
cereal.
of dollars.
Yeah. But it's like the kids section of cereal. If your parents didn't know any better 60 years ago or 50 years ago or whenever you were a kid, and back then, low fat, all these things were
Oh
coming
yeah,
out.
I grew up then. I grew up I was a
Exactly.
little kid in the 70s,
Yeah.
teen in the 80s.
But so
So
it's when the food industry was really like blooming. And so you have to understand that you became addicted to processed food.
yeah,
You did, most people did when
fortunate
you
to
were
have
a
it.
kid,
Yeah,
right? And so
yeah.
now going back to all of those things, or feeling like, oh, that's a comfort food for you, or, oh, you just really, you like it, or you just have to have it. I mean, that's stemming from childhood. It's like an addiction. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
like an addiction. It is an
It
addiction.
is an addiction. Oh, I
Treat it like
totally.
that. Yeah, you got to treat it like a drug. And you know what? Sure, we're going to eat processed food once in a while. I do too, but you should use it like it's a drug, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's it.
You're taking a bit of the drug, and if you go overboard, you're
Well, and but it's
overdosing.
okay.
Overdose.
It's okay to, use recreational drugs or have drinks once in a while.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you do it every day, it's a problem. And it's the same thing with processed food. If you eat it every single day, if 50% of your diet's processed food, it's a
I think
problem. Like,
most people's diet is more than 50%.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's around 52%.
I look at shopping carts when I'm shopping.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
full of boxes, boxed
yeah,
food.
yeah. That's the thing. And
Boxed food with labels of a long label of
yeah.
weird ingredients that yeah.
And the thing is, when you cut out processed food, when people start working with me and we get the processed food out, and they were ready. Usually, when people start working with me, they're ready to do that anyway. But we really work on getting all that stuff out, and then you realize that you crave healthy food. Like I talked to a client last week, and I was just saying, coming up to Christmas, how are you feeling? How are your cravings for this and that? He's like, honestly, my only real craving now is just like to have a nice big steak.
Yeah, I literally
So
that's on my mind because I did some gardening, guys, and raked up some leaves, whatever, boom. And now I know I have a nice piece of steak that I barbecued the other day in my fridge. And once I get rid of Trina, I'll go eat it.
yeah. No, but that's the thing, I think a part of the problem when guys are trying to decide, if they're going to do another, quote unquote diet, or they're going to try to lose the weight again, is they're worried because they've got all these cravings for processed food, and then they're worried you're going to cut your calories, right? You got, your doctor told you got to cut your calories to
And
1800.
move more. Cut calories, move more.
Yeah,
So
that's a topic for another day. That's a
that's
topic for
an
another day.
sorry. It's another
But
day.
the problem is when you do that is then your cravings are even worse. Your cravings for processed food are even worse. So, really, I think guys have to understand it's like if you eat the real food, right? If you're eating enough healthy food, and you guys love, bacon and steak and meat. Those are all things,
Eggs and bacon.
eggs. Yeah.
I will drop those into the pan.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Those
And
are,
whenever, that's my go-to food because
yeah,
being a bachelor, it's easy.
yeah,
And or steak. I love going out to the barbecue. Just I have to avoid taking a beer so I don't have any.
yeah.
A nice flavored water with sparkling water with lime.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, anyway, I mean, we could talk about processed food forever, but I think that the real thing is try to add, yeah, sometimes you want to say, oh, I'm going to just get rid of all the junk, and that can be hard. But don't keep it in your house. Focus on, food that's got one ingredient, like whole food, and if it is processed, look for the one that's got the least amount of crap in it. I mean,
Just know,
you can buy a protein bar that's got 25 ingredients, and you can buy one that's got 5.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
got to look at the labels, right? You have to read the
The
labels.
also, guys, I probably a lot of you know this, or Trina's mentioned it. Ingredients are listed in the by quantity. So the first ingredients listed on a list of ingredients is the largest quantity of the
Yeah.
ingredient within the product. So let's say 10
Sugar.
grams, it starts with sugar. That's probably there's 8 grams of sugar, and then they have fat, that's 1 gram, and then protein's 1 gram, whatever. But it's just they're listed in descending order.
Yeah. But
So
I think the thing is you just, if you see a list of ingredients on a processed food, on a boxed food or granola bar,
yeah,
whatever, and it's like 20 long
yeah,
and you
skip
can't
it, skip it,
understand
skip it,
and
and
you
you
can't
know what
understand.
they are
No,
af-
exactly.
after the
Yeah.
basics of water.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I mean, yeah, processed food is junk. Do we eat some processed food in my house? Yeah, very little.
Yeah, same with
Very
me
little.
actually. I am.
So,
I'm trying to think. My basically, I guess, mayonnaise, because the mayonnaise we buy is not that
yeah.
good. And
No, but
maybe
yeah.
ketchup. I actually, and that's for another day as well. I want
Yeah, it
to
is.
start making my mayonnaise, and I could because I have the right equipment for it.
Yeah. Now you can start. But when you're starting from, if you're starting from a point where you're 50% of your diet is processed food,
No, I know that. I know.
I mean, it's just, and I'm not one of those nutritionists who does like, I don't do like everything. I don't make my own
I
mayonnaise.
know,
I
I
don't
know,
make
I
my own
know,
ketchup.
Tina. I
Like
know, I
my
know. I've
kids
been
are
in
allowed
your
to eat
house
ketchup.
many times. I've seen I've
Yeah.
seen reality.
Yeah.
I won't over these talks. I'll slowly reveal who Trina is. Her little Achilles heel.
I'm not hiding anything.
No,
No,
she's. I'm
I'm not
kidding.
perfect and
I love visiting her because
yeah.
I eat better than I eat when I'm on my own.
Yeah. The key is really just moderation, everything in moderation,
Yeah.
including moderation.
Yes.
But getting most processed food out of your diet is really the key to health. Your body does not understand what it is. It's ruining your health, basically. So you got to stop. And anyway, we'll stop there because we could go on
Yeah.
forever
Yeah.
about this
We're
topic.
starting to drone on.
Yeah, we are.
No,
um,
this was a serious topic. Just oust the processed foods and the
yeah,
huge ingredient list. Whole foods, listen to Trina.
yeah. All right. Okay, David, we'll see you next time.
You bet. Take care.
Bye.